Assume that a procedure yields a binomial distribution. Oh, cool. Yeah, let's do that. Let's assume that. We don't have to think about it. We just know that we're supposed to use uh, x is a binomial random variable. So, I know whatever they're about to ask me to do, if they're asking me for probability, I'm going to be using the binom.dist function in Excel or the formula, the mathematical formula for the binomial probability distribution function. Or maybe they're going to ask me for a mean or a variance or a standard deviation, and then I would use one of those formulas. So I would go into the reference packet and look up all the formulas that are available for the binomial random variable. But let's find out what they're going to ask us to do with this binomial distribution. They're going to give us some more information first. With a trial repeated 17 times. Okay, that's important. So let's go ahead and put that down. N is 17. Find the probability of x being 10. Okay, so x is going to be 10. Okay, and also x greater than 10. Okay, so what they said was we are going to find the probability that x is equal to 10 and the probability that x is strictly greater than 10. Okay, keep reading. Given the probability that p is 0.63. Okay, that's useful. We need to know that. The p is 0.63. Now remember, p, little p, stands for the probability of success in each trial. All right, so all I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the binom.distribution function, and it wants in order the number of successes, that is your x value, so here that is 10. Then the number of trials, that is your n, which is 17 here. The probability of success in every trial will be 0.63. And I will say false for cumulative because I'm looking for x to be exactly equal to 10 successes, no more and no less. Okay, so that is the answer for that first part. This second part actually does not match the way the boxes where we enter our answers. So maybe this question was changed, but we can still find what's asked for here, less than or equal, and we can also find this answer too and just pretend that there's a box for that answer. But it's convenient that we see this here actually because you need to get that answer in order to get this answer. So we're going to add to this. We're going to say let's also find the probability that x is less than or equal to 10. All right. Now, less than or equal means you're accumulating probabilities. You're adding them up as you go. So the probability of 0 successes plus the probability of 1 success plus the probability of 2 successes, all right? Because all of those 0 successes would be less than or equal to 10, and so that would be favorable, or 1 success would be favorable, or 2 successes would be favorable, all the way up to 10. So then you would end up having to use the addition rule to add all those probabilities together. But instead of doing that, we have the option to say true when we're asked if we want our binomial distribution probability to be cumulative. So we're going to enter everything the same as we did for this answer, but just instead of saying false for cumulative, we will say true. So the number of successes is still 10. The number of trials is still 17. The probability of success is still 0.63, but now we say true for cumulative. We want it to go ahead and add those probabilities all up for us. Now, the next part of the problem is what is the probability of getting more than 10 successes in 17 trials? Well, that's the complement of what we just found above here. So it's very simple. We could find the probability of 11 successes and add that to the probability of 12 and so on, right? We could do that. That just means we would have to use binom.dist with false for cumulative, and we would have to do it for each one of these cases and then add them all together. So we could do that. It just would take a while. And so instead, what we can do is just use the law of complementary events, since less than or equal to 10 has a probability of 0.449, then greater than 10 would be all of the outcomes that were not included in the previous answer. So 1 minus that answer will give us the answer for that part. Okay, so now that's how you do it, just to answer those few pieces. But I thought it would be also very helpful for you to see what happens when you actually construct the entire probability distribution table with the x values and the probability of x of exact. So I'm going to say the random variable values that could occur, the exact probability, the cumulative probability, and the complement of the cumulative probabilities. Okay, we're going to make up a table including all of that so you can kind of see how all of this comes together. So x is the random variable, exact number of successes, the probability of x being exactly equal to x, the probability that x is less than or equal to x, and then the complement would be that x is strictly greater than x, right? So we can calculate all of this. Now, if you have 17 trials, you can have anywhere from 0 successes in 17 trials, 1, 2, 3, and so on. And once I establish a pattern, I can just bring that down to 17. One more. Okay, so now I have all my random variable values, and I'm ready to calculate the probability of getting exactly 0 successes using binom.dist with 0 successes and 17 trials, a probability of success of 0.63 in every trial, and false for cumulative. And now I will do the cumulative one, same thing, binom.dist with the number of successes, 17 trials, probability of success 0.63, and true for cumulative this time. Now notice that they're the same though. At this point, there's nothing to add on. We're at the very first possible probability. But when we bring this down, notice that here's the probability of getting exactly 1 success. And here's the probability of getting no successes. And also take note that this is in scientific notation. You would be moving the decimal place backwards 8 times. Remember, your probabilities are always going to be between 0 and 1, and if they're not, there's a problem there. But these are, even though they don't look it, they are actually, maybe we should change the format here for all of these to be decimal. I don't know if it'll let me make it. I don't want it to show, I don't want it to show me, here, that looks better. I don't want it to show me scientific. I'd like it to look like this. Okay, now I would say the same for all these and these cells, and we'll say, I don't know, we'll just go up to 10. All right, now, when I copy this down, it's going to add these two together. So watch what happens when I move this down. So now you see, if I were to add these first two probabilities, that is how I get that answer. And so it's going to continue to accumulate as we go down. Now this one, remember, is the complement, so 1 minus the cumulative probability, right? So you can see these two will always add up to 1. All right, so we're going to copy that down, and then we can actually just copy all of this down by double clicking. And so now we have our full table of probabilities. All right, it's a little hard on the eyes looking at all those digits, but the purpose of this exercise is to show you how this answer right here, my exact probability for 10 successes is right here in this column, right? And my my cumulative probability for 10 successes, so 10 or fewer successes, that answer is right in here in the cumulative column. And the complementary probability, the complement of the cumulative probability is right there. Yeah, and see, if I take the sum of the probability of exactly 0 successes plus the probability of exactly 1 success, and so on all the way up to 10, that's how we get that answer by hand. And likewise, if I want to know the probability of 10 or more successes, then I would add up, or not, I didn't mean to say 10 or more, I meant to say greater than 10. So that would be 11, 12, 13, all the way up. And so that's how we would get that too, you see? Very, very cool. I love the binomial probability distribution function, and I hope you're learning to love it too.